There's a meeting happening right now inside a Costco regional buying office, and 13 items are being quietly walked toward the exit. No press release, no aisle sign. One day they're stacked 6 pallets high. The next quarter, the SKU is gone. And the one at the top of this list? It's sitting in almost every membership household in America right now. And by September 2026, the version you know will not exist on that shelf. That's number one. We'll get there. Here's what's actually driving this. Tariff schedules revised in early 2026. A wholesale beef supply down roughly 8% year over year. Palm oil restrictions tightening out of Southeast Asia. And Costco's own private label consolidation strategy. They've quietly cut over 400 SKUs in the last 18 months. 13 specific items. Each one chosen for a concrete reason: a supplier collapse, a regulation shift, a margin decision, or a reformulation you were never meant to notice. And the closer we get to number one, the harder this gets to ignore. Because the last three aren't disappearing by accident. They're disappearing by design. Number 13. Kirkland's signature bacon crumbles. You'd think bacon is bacon. It isn't. The pork belly futures market in 2026 is trading roughly 34% above its 5-year average, and Kirkland's crumbles rely on a specific cure and render process that only 2 U.S. co-packers still run at scale. One of them lost its Iowa facility to a consolidation deal last spring. The math no longer works at $6.99 a bag. That's why they're being reformulated into a turkey and pork blend, meaning the version on the shelf today, the one with that specific salt-fat ratio families have been buying for a decade, ends its production run in Q3 of 2026. If you use them for salads, baked potatoes, or emergency protein in shelf-stable meals, buy 3 bags this month. They hold in a cool pantry for 18 months unopened, longer in the freezer. Hold this one in mind. At number 4, it connects to something most people completely miss. Number 12. Bear Creek Country Kitchen's Soup Mixes. Asterisk 12 pounds of finished soup from one $8 bag. That math is why this product survived 20 years. It's also why it's leaving. Bear Creek's parent company was acquired in late 2025 by a mid-market food group that's shifting distribution toward grocery chains with higher shelf fees. Costco's contract renewal, according to buyer chatter that's been circulating since June, was not extended past September 2026. The volume commitment Costco required no longer fits the new owner's DTC-first model. This isn't a product failure. It's a channel divorce. And when it's gone from Costco, the per-serving cost roughly doubles at every other retailer. Grab 2 or 3 bags of the creamy potato and the cheddar broccoli. Sealed, they hold 2 years easily in a dry pantry at under 70 Fahrenheit. The next one involves a price gap that's genuinely hard to justify. Number 11. Kirkland's Signature Canadian Whiskey. A $22 bottle that blind tastes against $50 competitors. That's not marketing. That's a documented result from a 2024 wine enthusiast panel. Here's what almost no one knows. Kirkland's Canadian whiskey is sourced from a distillery that's now being courted by a major spirits conglomerate for exclusive contracts. The barrel allocation for private label bottling has been steadily reduced across 2026. Costco's team has publicly declined to comment, but store-level inventory allocations were cut in 7 U.S. regions this July. Translation: the supply funnel is closing. This is a product being priced out of existence by its own success. If you keep spirits for barter value, gifting, or long-term shelf storage, sealed whiskey is functionally immortal. 1 bottle today is a smart hedge, not for drinking. For holding, picture week 3 of living entirely on what's in your pantry right now. That's the mindset for the next one. Number 10. Kirkland Organic Multigrain Bread. Asterisks. Bread on a survival list sounds absurd. Until you learn this one has a documented 21-day mold resistance window at room temperature and 6 months frozen without texture loss. The bakery producing it uses a proprietary sourdough starter that acts as a natural preservative. No calcium propionate, no potassium sorbate. That starter is maintained at a single facility in the Pacific Northwest. The facility's lease is not being renewed after August 2026, and the bakery's parent company has confirmed it will not relocate the starter culture. The bread survives. This specific formulation does not. Buy 2 loaves. Slice them, double bag in freezer film, store flat. You'll thank yourself in month 5 when a store-bought equivalent costs $7.49 and molds in a week. This next one will challenge an assumption you've probably had for years. Number 9. Kirkland Signature Extra Virgin Olive Oil, 2L Italian. You've been told olive oil is fungible. It isn't. The 2L Italian bottle, the tall glass one, not the plastic California version, comes from a specific consortium in Tuscany that lost roughly 40% of its 2025 harvest to a combination of Xylella bacterial spread and drought stress. Olive oil futures spiked 68% in Q1 2026. Costco's contract with the Italian bottler locked in pre-crisis pricing, and that contract expires in September 2026 without a renewal path that keeps the price under $30. You're not losing olive oil. You're losing this olive oil at this price. Post-2026, the same 2L bottle is projected at $47, $52 at competing retailers. Buy 2 now. Store upright, away from light, under 70 Fahrenheit. Sealed shelf life, 24 months from bottling date, printed on the neck. Take a breath here, we're at the halfway point. Everything from here forward carries significantly more weight. The first 6 items were about price, sourcing, and supply. The next 7 are about something bigger, the quiet consolidation of what a middle-class American pantry is allowed to contain by 2027. And that number 1 item I opened with. Here's what I'll add now. It's not food. It's not liquor. It's something you assume is permanent. Let's keep going. Number 8. Kirkland Signature Albacore Solid White Tuna, canned. 6 cans for around $13. The cheapest per gram, mercury-tested, sustainably sourced albacore in American retail. The albacore comes from a specific Pacific fleet operating under a bilateral treaty framework that's up for renegotiation in 2026. Early drafts of the revised treaty tighten catch quotas by an estimated 22%. Combine that with Costco's supplier, one of only 3 FDA-approved solid white canning facilities on the West Coast, being acquired by a competitor, and the product's continued existence at current spec is not guaranteed past next fall. This is protein you can store for 5 years. 2 cans deliver a full day of protein for 1 adult. That's not survival food theory. That's USDA nutrient database math, by a case. Rotate the oldest into weekly meals. Sealed, cool, dry. Simple. We've been talking about survival. This next one is about something different. Morale. Number 7. Kirkland Signature Belgian Chocolates. In a genuine long-term supply situation, morale collapses before calories do. Ask anyone who's lived through a real disruption. Hurricane weeks, extended power outages, the pandemic's worst months. What people remember is not what fed them. It's what felt normal. The Belgian chocolates come from a single 4th-generation chocolatier that Costco has partnered with since 2011. Cocoa futures hit a historic peak in 2024 and remain roughly 180% above their pre-2023 average through 2026. The chocolatier's family has confirmed a shift away from private label contracts starting Q4 2026, moving to a direct-to-consumer luxury model. This isn't just a snack disappearing. It's a specific moment, the one where a child eats a piece of real Belgian chocolate in a week that has been otherwise very hard, that's disappearing. Buy 1 tin. Store at 60-68 Fahrenheit, sealed, in the dark. Holds beautifully for 12 months. You will use it when you need it. Number 6. Kirkland Signature Batteries, 48-pack AA. The industry secret. These are manufactured by the same OEM as one of the top 3 brand-name battery makers. Same production line, different label, roughly 55% cheaper. That OEM signed an exclusivity agreement in early 2026 with its branded partner, effectively ending private label production of AA and AAA cells in Kirkland volume. The 48-pack will finish its final production run by late Q3 2026. What replaces it, if anything, will be sourced from a Southeast Asian secondary supplier at a materially different quality tier. For anyone who's ever tried to power a flashlight during a real outage on cheap batteries, you know exactly what materially different quality tier means. Buy 2 48 packs. Store in original packaging, dry, room temperature, shelf life, 10 years. Do not refrigerate. Condensation kills them. The next one involves a decision Costco itself confirmed on an earnings call. Number 5. Kirkland Signature Vitamin D3 5000 IU, 600 count, roughly $2 per capsule. The lowest per unit cost of USP-verified D3 in American retail. Full stop. Here's what shifted. The FDA in mid-2026 issued updated guidance on high-dose D3 supplement labeling, requiring reformulated warnings and reclassifying certain 5000 IU products into a more restrictive category. Costco's supplier confirmed on an investor call in July that the 600-count SKU will not be recertified under the new framework. It sunsets in Q3 2026, replaced by a smaller 250-count bottle at roughly 3x the per capsule cost. For families managing winter deficiency, immune resilience, or bone health across multiple people, this is a stockpile item with a documented 3-year shelf life if stored below 77 Fahrenheit in a sealed bottle. Buy 2 bottles. That's a 2-year supply for 2 adults. Done. One thing before we reach the top 4. Something most channels covering this topic will never say directly. The pattern you're watching isn't random. It's not supply chain issues, in the vague sense the news uses that phrase. What's happening at Costco specifically, and at every warehouse retailer following the same playbook, is a deliberate narrowing of the middle. High-margin private label thrives. Ultra-premium thrives. What disappears is the specific category Kirkland built its brand on. The anomaly. A product priced dramatically below its quality tier because of a lucky contract, an obscure supplier, or a moment in the market. Those anomalies are being closed one by one. Every item on this list is an anomaly being closed. Once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. And it changes how you shop for the next 6 months. Now, the top 4. Number 4. Kirkland Signature Ground Coffee, 2.5 pounds, 100% Colombian. Coffee is not disappearing. This specific coffee is. The 100% Colombian designation requires certification through the Federación Nacional de Cafeteros. Colombia's 2025 harvest was down roughly 12% due to prolonged La Niña rainfall patterns, and the Federación tightened its certification standards in early 2026. Costco's roaster confirmed the 2.5-pound Colombian SKU is being consolidated into a Colombian blend, meaning less than 100% Colombian beans. Starting Q4 2026, the price stays similar, the product does not. Remember number 13, the bacon crumbles? Same pattern, same shelf, same price, different product. This is how consolidation works. It doesn't announce itself. Buy 2 bags. Vacuum-sealed coffee holds 12 months unopened. Freeze one for 24-month storage. Grind fresh when opened. This one and number 1 together form the most overlooked combination on this entire list. Number 3. Kirkland Signature Grass-Fed Ground Beef, Frozen 4-pack. The frozen 4-pack of grass-fed patties, roughly $18, is the cheapest verified grass-fed beef in American retail per pound. The U.S. cattle herd in 2026 is at its smallest size since 1951. Grass-fed specifically, which requires certified pasture management and slower time to market, is disproportionately affected. Costco's supplier, an Australian-US hybrid operation, notified distributors in June that the 4-pack format is being discontinued in favor of a smaller 2-pack at a materially higher per-pound cost. Effective Q3 2026. Buy 2 4-packs, vacuum-sealed in the original packaging. They hold 9 months in a standard freezer, 12+ months in a deep freeze at 0 Fahrenheit or below. 2 items from number 1. And the next one is what almost every prep list ignores. Number 2. Kirkland Signature Toilet Paper, 30 roll. Here's the pattern almost no one tracks. Sheet count. The Kirkland 30 roll pack, quietly shifted from 425 sheets per roll to 380 sheets per roll in a 2025 reformulation, a nearly 11% reduction disguised by an unchanged pack size. Industry insiders call it de-sheeting. The next revision, scheduled for late 2026, is projected to drop to 340 sheets and shift the pulp blend to a higher recycled content that changes the texture. Same pack, same price, different product. This is the clearest example on this list of the phenomenon I named earlier. The anomaly being closed. Buy 130 pack this month, while the 380 sheet formulation still ships. Store dry, off the concrete floor, on a wooden pallet or shelf. Paper holds forever if it stays dry. And now, the one I've been building toward, number one, the Costco membership itself. I told you it wasn't food. I told you it was sitting in almost every membership household in America. I told you the version you know will not exist by September 2026. The Gold Star membership, at its current $65 tier, is on borrowed time. Costco raised fees in September 2024, the first hike in 7 years. Internal projections presented at the 2026 shareholder meeting indicate a second-stage restructuring, a tiered access model separating warehouse-only members from full digital and fuel members, with the base tier repositioned at $75, $85, and the full access tier at $130. Effective, per multiple analyst notes, no later than September 2026. Here's why this is number one. Every single item on this list, the bacon, the whiskey, the D3, the batteries, the coffee, the beef, the paper, is accessible only through the membership. The membership is the key, and the key is being repriced and restructured. If you're currently a Gold Star member, execute a renewal before the restructuring locks in. If you're an executive member, the 2% cashback on the products on this list alone justifies the tier for the next 18 months. If you're not a member, this is the last window to enter at legacy pricing. Every anomaly on this list closes. The membership is the anomaly that opens the door to all the others. Here's what all 13 items share. They're each a small, closable window. Individually, none of them changes a family's future. Together, they form something more useful, a working understanding of how the middle of American retail is being reshaped in real time, and where the last affordable pockets of quality are hiding. Start with the membership renewal. Add the olive oil, the tuna, the D3, and the coffee. 4 items, one afternoon, roughly $180. Build the kind of supply that means your family has options, not obligations. Options in a bad month. Options when a price doubles. Options when the shelf is empty. The next time you walk into a Costco, look at what's stacked 6 pallets high and ask yourself which of them won't be there next fall, because some of them already have a date.